It was about 6 weeks ago. I was in Miami, Florida. This is my second home away from Los Angeles. And I was up early in the morning because a brother needed to lose some weight. And so I was getting up early, 7 o'clock in the morning. I was in the car and I was going to 24-hour fitness. I was going to get on that treadmill. I was going to lift those weights, because I was trying to get in shape. You're in Miami, people look good everywhere. So I want to, trying to get the weight down and get back to my old days in college. In order to do that, I have to get up early in the morning. So I'm up early in the morning and I'm tired. And I'm like, man, I could really use an extra hour of sleep. I don't feel like going to work out today, but I'm going to be disciplined and pursue my dream. And my dream to lose weight, by the way. And so I get in the car, turn in the ignition, get into my seat, start driving, turn on the radio, and it's an FM station. And the morning DJ gets on the radio and says, "Good morning, Miami." And I said, "Good morning." And then she says something really powerful. All of a sudden she says, "To all the ladies out there, I want you to know something. If you're in a relationship with someone and they tear you down and they have dual personalities and they have unexpected expectations and they don't respect you and they have anger management issues and they're never satisfied with you and you have more fear with them than being away from them," she said, "if you're in that relationship of unrealistic expectations and constant frustration and constant fear and all these negative thoughts that are going through your mind," she said, "get out as quick as you can." She said, "Run, Forrest, run." And the reason she says run, Forrest, run, was because she said when people exude these behaviors, most likely the relationship turns from good into really, really bad. In essence, this woman gets on the radio and she begins to challenge the men and women in South Florida because there has been a rise in sexual assault. There has been a rise in domestic violence. There has been a rise in emotional abuse. There's been a rise in unhealthy relationships. And the reason that there's been a rise is because people are getting into relationships not recognizing the signs. Someone say the signs. In essence, they don't recognize the anger management issues. They don't recognize the dual personalities. They don't recognize the unrealistic expectations. They don't recognize all the unique things that are part of an unhealthy relationship. It's as if they get so caught up into the relationship that they forget to identify the signs that tell you get as far and far and far and far away as you can. Now, this is a powerful moment for me because it was just 3 years ago when I had a breakup with my ex because my ex had these same type of behaviors. See, this was not just something I was hearing early in the morning, but this was a real thing for me because I can remember when I had expectations of being with someone for the rest of my life. I could remember when I fell in love. I can remember when I trusted this person. I can remember when I was in this relationship and I thought I was going to be there for the rest of my entire life. But yet inside of the relationship, I had to deal with emotional abuse. I had to deal with anger issues. I had to deal with control. I had to deal with dual personalities. I had to deal with frustration and with agony and with pain and with irritation, and it got so bad that I felt like I was in prison in my own home. So the powerful moment for me, because ultimately when these behaviors begin to show their head, you try to work through it because love overcomes all. So you try to stay in and you try to work it out because if I break up, I'm going to look real bad because I never thought this would ever happen. So you're trying to work through them and you're trying to overcome, but here comes the reality. The reality is these behaviors, if they are not addressed and if there is no change, they will get so bad and you will become so disgusted and so frustrated and so irritated that either they're going to do something to you that may hurt you or you need to run, Forrest, run. And so I decided to walk away from what I call an emotionally abusive unhealthy relationship. And you can imagine where I was at this point, because I'm sure there's people in this room that have dealt with breakup. I'm sure there are people in this room that have underwent pain and agony and frustration because of a bad relationship. You know, I found that a bad relationship can literally mess your entire life up. Some people hold on to bitterness and depression for years and years and years because they've never known how to overcome the effects of a toxic, horrible, and bad relationship. And so I'm in this place and I'm feeling bad and I'm feeling down and I'm irritated and I even feel guilty myself because I'm like, man, I messed up. I should have saw the signs. And I'm reflecting and I'm analyzing my life. And then finally I get some strength and I start to build myself up because number one, I'm a motivational speaker. So if I'm a motivational speaker, I gotta know how to build myself up. Number two, I begin to surround myself with positive people because you are what you surround yourself with. The old saying is, birds of a feather flock together. So I surrounded myself with the right people and finally got some strength and some motivation. I said, you know what? I'm not just gonna overcome this situation myself. I'm getting ready to write a book. So here go the book. 50 questions before you say I do. Why? Because I wanted to help people to avoid the pain and the agony. And there goes my phone. That is just the worst. This always happens to me. Oh man, people calling me. I'm a popular person, huh? And I was doing good. They messed my flow up. Okay, sorry about that. Video, you know, it happens to me sometimes. But I decided to write this book because I wanted to help people to avoid the agony and the pain and the hurt that I went through. Because what I realized was this, I realized that most people get into unhealthy relationships, have hard breakups, and are devastated because they never take the time to ask themselves the right questions before they say, I do. Most people just figure I'm in love, they look good, they smell good, they'll be a good supporter, you know, all this good stuff, but they never ask the right questions. And because they never ask the right questions, they are blinded and they end up getting in something they should never be involved with. So I wrote the book because I said, man, I do not pray that anyone goes through what I went through. Because let me tell you, it is one of the worst experiences of my life. So Joshua says, I'm gonna write a book and it's gonna be called 50 Questions Before You Say I Do. Because you should ask about 50 questions or more before you say, I do. As a matter of fact, I always say this is a dangerous message because someone in here may realize they're dating someone right now and it ain't the right person. And it's okay to call them tonight and say, it's done. It's okay to say that because I'm telling you, you know, one bad relationship can affect your entire life.